In this one, we're going to take a look at how to set up a search campaign in the Google Ads Editor. If you're unfamiliar, the Ads Editor is a piece of software that you download and then you can use to scale your campaigns. You can bulk edit and copy and paste into the account instead of having to do it through the online editor. It also lets you review changes if you're working with other people, or import and export the account so that you can look at it in different places or move pieces around. Personally, I like it because it brings all of the little features that Google slides into the interface to opt you into spending more out in the open. So there's checkboxes and what have you that you can adjust all of the settings that they'll automatically put on. Plus, it's way faster to navigate once you get used to it. Once you have the Ads Editor on your system, you can open it up and then you select the account you want to log into. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to create a campaign, the ad groups, the keywords, the negative keywords, and then how do we post that campaign to our account so we can start running ads. The first thing you need to understand about this interface is there's a panel here, there's a panel here, and then the rest happens in this area. And the order of importance is this panel, then what's happening here. Since the Ads Editor gives us access to every feature, there's often a lot that don't actually pertain to the campaign you're working on. So once you get it set up, you can click this to hide the empty types. And as you can see, there's a little filter here to let us know that it's turned on, but I have significantly less options once that is checked. With that little setup out of the way, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to my channel, even though I'm not sure it really matters anymore. To get started, we'll select our account, we'll go down to campaigns, and then we'll add a new search campaign. All of the campaign types are available here. In this video, we're just gonna cover a small search campaign, but if you do wanna see me get into some of these other options, put it in the comments below. I have my ad group, my negative keywords, and all of the things we're going to put into the ads already figured out. If you want to go through that steps and download this template, you can check out my other video. But in this one, we're just gonna put these assets into the Google Ads Editor. So this campaign is for my short form video editing agency. It's gonna be in English. I'm going to target Canada, so I'm going to give it a descriptive name. I'm going to exclude the search partners because I only want to target people that are actively searching on Google. Search partners often put you onto sites you didn't know existed and aren't as high a quality. I am also going to disable the display network because I like to run my search campaign separate from my display and video campaign. Next, we're going to set the goal for this campaign, which will just be my account level conversion event, which is make a purchase. I'll be bidding for maximum conversions, but if you have a different strategy, you can select them all here. So target cost per acquisition or a target return on ad spend. For me, I just want the most purchases possible. For now, I'm not going to put in a target CPA, and I'm going to do my bidding at the ad group level. In the bidding panel, I'm going to just bid equally for new and existing customers. This is an exploratory campaign, but once I have some data back, I could come back in here and change it to bid higher for new customers and do my customizations in these boxes. Or once I hit market saturation, I can only bid for new customers. But as I said, we're just figuring it out. Now for location, as I said, I want to target Canada. And if I wanted to break it down by province or city, I could add all of those locations in here and get data on it later. But we're going to keep it broad and just target the whole country. Now Canada is bilingual, but I am only going to target people in English for this campaign. And we're not going to add any custom audiences at this point, but we might try to observe them later. We're not going to add any affinity audiences right now, but this all comes back to your strategy. If it was in the media plan, you could add it here. As of right now, we're not going to add AI Max, but if we don't see results, we could extend that later. I'm also not going to allow it to customize the text. Now, these are my choices. I like to keep things pretty contained because in this case, it is an exploratory campaign. But if you have a higher budget, you can turn those features on and get additional data back more quickly. But if this is your first campaign, just keep it simple. Now, if you don't already have your campaign ready, you can go through these next steps and figure out the assets and the ads, but I'm just gonna close it here. And you'll see it has this little red exclamation point with all of the things that we need to fix in order for this campaign to be acceptable. So again, it is here, and then we're on the campaigns tab. If we wanted to look at the other aspects of the targeting, these are all the parts related to what is clicked. So campaign sets the context here, the context here sets the context here, and then since I have this campaign named on the right hand side, I have all of the details at the campaign level. Honestly, getting used to navigating within the app itself is one of the initial challenges to getting used to working this way. So if you're getting lost, don't worry about it. It gets easier. So we're going to set a daily budget of $150. That's going to be my daily average. You can also change it to campaign total here. We already said it's not political. We're setting our goal at the account level. We're disabling the search partners, which you'll get these little errors. Often those errors will be telling you to turn it on for more reach, but it'll also increase your spend. So if you're trying to control the variables, some of the errors you ignore. Think of it as having a friend constantly wanting you to spend more money. So are we really friends then? You want to make sure this is off. Use the keyword match types, otherwise it will just broadly let their AI figure it out, and it can work, but it's quite expensive. If you run a service-based business and you only want to run your ads during certain times of the day, you can set the schedule inside of this calendar here. You can also limit by device or operating system, choosing who you actually want to show your ads to, and change your bid based on whether it's a desktop or a phone or a tablet or a TV by just using plus and minus percentages. So for example, if my site is only mobile, I might go minus 100 or minus 90% on desktop bids, and that would allow me to focus my spend a little bit more. Since it's a search campaign, there's no capping. In terms of targeting, we want to change this to people in or regularly in. As you'll see, they opt you into people who show interest in, which can often increase your spend because people show interest in Canada from all over the world. So then I see ads going out to countries that aren't on my approved list. For this particular campaign, not a huge concern, but that's where you change it. Now that we have our campaign set up, we can set up some ad groups. So we have our campaign selected here, and then we have ad groups here, and then we can add an ad group or make multiple changes. So I have multiple ad groups, so I'm gonna click multiple changes. I'm gonna go to my ad groups and keywords and grab all 4 of them, and then we're gonna paste here, and you'll see it auto picked. It would be the ad group. If you have multiple columns, you may need to choose what it's gonna be, and then you hit OK, and it's telling me it's added 4 ad groups. I'm gonna just finish and review the changes, but if you're making multiple changes at once, it does give you one chance to opt out with the revert and cancel. So now you can see I have 4 different ad groups within my campaign. And similar to the settings in the campaign, I have my side panel here where I can set my costs, which I'm gonna say $4. Now you'll see this one's gone purple because it's an unposted change and all the others are blue. So each time a change comes through, you can keep them or reject them. You can also use this to build out more complex campaigns where people can work together. In our case, we're gonna just keep them all. Now I've put my maximum cost per click on this ad group, but not on this one. So what I can do, and I don't like to use round numbers since it is an auction, you can just update them all at once. And so that's where this starts to become powerful, is when you're doing changes like this. There are bulk features in the Google interface, but it is as complicated, or in many cases more difficult, than doing it this way. Down in our targeting settings, we have everything set to observation, so we will get some data back on that. Now again, there's these yellow triangles warning me there's issues with all of these ad groups, and down at the bottom here it shows you exactly what those are. So my ad group contains no active ads. Excellent point. So we'll go to the ads tab in the second corner here. So again, campaign, context of the campaign, what's happening within that context. So I want to create responsive search ads. I'm just going to go add responsive search ad and choose the ad group it's going to go into. And then you'll see I have a new set of warnings to guide me through it. Add at least 2 descriptions. So I come back to my planning sheet, filter it by the ad group, and copy paste them in. So I've got 6 headlines. I'll do the same with the descriptions. One thing to note is this is where the planning comes in handy. So you'll notice we have the length column that's making sure that all of my titles and descriptions can be pasted in here without error. And it makes things go so much smoother. I'll put in my final URL. Now, we could create a tracking template. We will not get into tracking templates right now. That'll be a separate video. Feel free to let me know if you want to nerd out that hard. So this is a great example of when you might want to use the hide empty types button, because I can click that and now we'll only have access to the things where we have filled fields. So I can go back to my ad groups tab, choose the next ad group. So that clears my errors on that specific ad. I'll just go ahead and choose the next ad group. You can expand and close this if you don't see that, and do the exact same thing. Add a responsive ad, filter the things to copy over, and copy and paste. Unlike the other bulk editing features, when you try to paste multiple descriptions or titles to a single ad, I can't figure out how that works. So if you're an expert critiquing this video, I'm open to learning on that one, because the copy paste is annoying, but still significantly faster than using the interface. Now for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna do those 2. So I'll remove the others. So I've got my campaign set up, I've got my ad set up, and now I'm just missing the keywords for my particular ad group. So I'll click into the ad group and you'll notice there's no keyword tab here, and that is because we're filtered. So unclick that and there's the tab. So if you're looking for something you're pretty sure exists, always check if you're using the hide empty types. I'm gonna go back to my planning sheet. I will take the 3 keywords that I have here, paste them in. We'll just double check it's going to the right ad group, and it is not. So I will uncheck that one and check this one and hit OK. It's going to say 3 are added, and we will check them here. So you'll notice the match type is broad. If you watched my previous video, you'll know I don't recommend that when you're first starting out. So we'll select all 3 of them and just choose phrase, and that will update the keyword type for all 3 of those keywords. We can also choose the status, the URLs, and add anything that we want to override at this level in the right-hand panel here. Back in the sheet, we'll do the same for our agency keywords, paste them in, accept the changes, and update the match type to be phrase. So this is pretty much ready to go as our first super basic campaign. We're still getting a couple errors, so we can just pull this up and take a look. We have fewer than 3 image assets. At this point, I don't have image assets that I want to put on this campaign, so we will just ignore that for now. We're missing 4 callouts. Callouts are pretty helpful, and so we will go down to the Add Assets tab and choose callouts, and then just click add, and we can add them at the campaign level. Now in this case I'm doing it at the campaign level because I do run different types of product ads in this account. If you only have one line of products, you might want to make that at the campaign level. That is 100% up to you. So I'll hit add a callout, and I'll put Canadian editors. Instead of going through that whole process again, you can just copy and paste into the thing here. So we would say 24-hour turnaround, or any other key features of the product that we're advertising. So we've added a couple callouts. We're gonna hide the cells, go back and see what other things we have. Campaign is using smart bidding. I don't care, I choose that. And then at the campaign level, it wants me to add 2 more callouts. I'm just going to ignore that for now. Site links are deep links to other parts of the website, so maybe an About Us or an Our Work, but I have it all on the landing page. If you do want to add that, again, you just unhide the empty cells and then search for site links. I already have some from a previous campaign in here and I don't want them associated with this particular account. So we're going to just choose to ignore that. If I do see the performance is lacking after the first week or so, we can come back and add those later. Same with structured snippets. We could put in a customer review or some details about the service, but I'm going to ignore that. Since this is a first round, I'm going to also ignore audience segments. I don't want it on the display network, and I also don't want search partners. So those last two are great examples of things that I knowingly opted out of, but the interface is telling me to turn it back on. So much like when you work within the online interface, Google is always pushing you to do things that will make them more money in the name of performance. Will they actually perform better? That's something that you need to test. At this point, I'm trying to keep my budget tight, and so I will not be turning those on. With all the warnings taken care of, I can go ahead and post this to my account. And to do so, you just hit the post button up in the top right. It'll quickly check your changes and then show you what it's about to do. You'll see it says selected campaigns only, and so what I'll do is choose all. With all my choices made for this initial campaign, I can go back to the campaign tab and choose paused so that I can upload it to my account, but it won't go live as soon as it's uploaded. I always like to take one quick look through all the settings and just make sure I don't see anything out of line, and then just hit post. When you do that, it will show you a list of all the things that are about to change. So we're going to create one campaign, 2 ad groups, 6 keywords in one location with 2 ads, 2 callouts. That all sounds right, so I'll just hit post and it'll quickly show me as it updates my account. At this point, I'd recommend you check the web interface of the Google account that you're working on just to make sure everything went through properly. But that's it. If you were following along, you just made your first search campaign with the Google Ads Editor. If you have any specific questions or want to see me go into other parts of the Google Ads Editor, put it in the comments below. Otherwise, stay creative and have a great day.